The night before my wedding, I thought I'd be alone, nervous, restless, maybe writing vows. Instead, 3 men knocked on my door and my fiancé sent them. I said yes, and I never once looked back. If you've been here before and you enjoy these stories, don't forget to like and subscribe. It's the easiest way to support the channel and helps us keep going. And if you're new here, welcome. I hope you enjoy this one and come back for more. Now let's begin. I was lying in bed alone. The hotel room felt empty, even though everything was set for tomorrow. The dress, the rings, the vows. I couldn't sleep. Tomorrow I'd be walking down the aisle saying I do to a man I loved. But in the back of my mind, all I could hear was his voice. Don't worry, we won't be a boring couple. I laughed when he said it, but now staring at the ceiling, I wasn't so sure. Could we really keep that fire going forever? There had been so much about my life before him that felt electric. Wild nights, adventure, freedom. But now as the wedding approached, it felt like I was on the edge of something I couldn't turn back from. Was I really ready to leave all of that behind? A knock at the door pulled me out of my thoughts. I opened it without thinking. 3 men stood there. One had a full sleeve of tattoos. The second was older, with gray in his beard and eyes that didn't flinch. The third was broad-shouldered and tall, enough to block the light from the hallway. None of them said a word. The one in front handed me a small envelope. My name was written on it. His handwriting. I opened it. You said you were scared of a boring life. Let this be your answer. Have fun tonight. I'll see you at the altar. Your almost husband. We're here for you, that's all he said. Calm, certain, like it had all been arranged. I didn't ask what he meant. I already knew. I stepped aside. They entered quietly. No words, no glances between them. Just the sound of shoes on carpet, and the weight of something unspoken settling into the room. I closed the door. That sound, the latch clicking, made my heart jump. I stood there holding the note like it might give me instructions. It didn't. I turned back to them, trying to catch my breath. So are you guys local, or did he fly you in? The older one looked at me. His voice was steady. You don't need to make conversation. I let out a quiet laugh, nervous. Not challenged. Then I walked between them. Not by accident, not shyly. I walked like I was ready for whatever came next. The moment I passed, hands reached out. One brushed my waist, another touched the inside of my arm. Fingertips moved slowly, deliberately, like they were learning me. My robe loosened under their touch. It slipped down my arms without resistance, falling into a silent heap around my ankles. Someone moved behind me. Lips grazed the back of my neck. Another hand slid up from my hip to my chest, warm and full, fingers spreading. A mouth found mine, software patient. I leaned into it. They didn't hold back anymore. Touches growing bolder, more curious, more certain. I didn't flinch. His hand moved gently behind my head. Not forceful, just steady, leading me lower, and I followed. They started with their shirts, pulling fabric over their heads, revealing skin muscles, ink and tension. I watched their hands move slow and sure. Each motion unhurried but charged. Then I stepped forward and took care of the rest. One by one, I unfastened their belts, tugged zippers open, and let the weight of their clothes fall. My hands moved smoothly, confidently. No one said a word without hesitation. I brought my mouth to the first man. I took my time with him, letting the moment stretch as I moved gently, building a rhythm of my own, while my hands reached out to the others, stroking, circling, holding them close. I switched, leaning into the older one next. Feeling his hand settle at the back of my head, steadying me as I followed his lead, every motion deliberate. He pressed forward just slightly, breath catching in response. The tall one waited longest, his chest rising slow and heavy. As I turned toward him, my lips closed around him, and I felt his fingers brush my jaw just once, soft and unsure before tightening again. They stood around me like a storm building, heat rising in every direction. But they let me move how I wanted. Their hands tangled in my hair, traced my shoulder blades, steadied me as I kept going. When my knees began to ache, the tattooed one bent down and lifted me with ease. He carried me to the bed, laying me across the sheets, like I was something he'd been told to handle carefully, but wanted to claim. One man knelt between my legs, his mouth lowering with slow, focused intent as he explored every curve he could reach. He adjusted my hips slightly, angling me toward him like he'd done it before. His breath was warm, his pace steady. More worship than hunger. Another climbed beside me and guided himself toward my lips. I took him again, feeling his presence at my lips, my hand bracing against his hip as I matched his pace. The third stayed close to my chest, his mouth tracing the slope of me, tongue circling slowly before his teeth grazed the swell just once. Drawing a gasp I couldn't hold back. I was surrounded, taken in every direction. Then the man between my legs rose. His mouth was slick, his expression focused. He looked at me, met my eyes. He shifted forward, his body aligned with mine, hovering just above me, and for a second I forgot how to breathe. I jolted. I was already moving flat on my back, arms splayed out, mouth parted. Body open, one already beneath me, moving with steady rhythm. Another at my mouth, and a third grazing my chest with his mouth and hands. It was too much and not enough. Each time the man beneath me rocked forward, something fluttered in my stomach. My breath hitched and the man at my mouth would groan softly, his fingers tightening in my hair. I could feel the rhythm between them, how they moved together, how they used me without rushing. Without pausing, I moaned against him. I couldn't help it. I wasn't holding back anymore. My hands slid across thighs and skin and sheets, searching for something, anything to keep me steady. But I didn't want steady, I wanted more. And then they gave it to me. The man at my mouth pulled away. First he stroked my cheek once, then moved down between my legs, where the man between them slowly withdrew. Their eyes met over me. No words, one replaced the other. His body settled into mine with a different kind of weight. Slower at first, thicker. I felt myself shift and adapt, my legs lifting instinctively to hold him there. He held me tighter than the last. His rhythm was rougher. I could hear his breath fast and uneven as his pace grew more urgent. The difference wasn't just physical. It was everything. Where the first had moved with care, this one moved with hunger. Each motion pulled a reaction from me. Each sound from his throat sent heat down my spine. The man who'd been at my chest had shifted lower, his touch tracing down to my waist, now his mouth trailing over my ribs. My stomach. I was shifting, stretching, chasing sensation. One of them stretched out on the bed, lying flat with his arms open. They helped me climb over him. I positioned myself slowly into his arms. He welcomed me with warmth and tension. His touch set me into motion. As my knees found their place on either side of him, I found a rhythm, gentle motion at first. Then stronger, he rose to meet me from below. His grip steady at my waist, eyes locked on mine like nothing else existed. Then I sensed another presence behind me. A second man had stepped closer. Standing tall, his hand slid along my lower back, fingers gently tilting me forward. I braced myself with one hand on the man beneath me, and the other reached for balance. As the third stepped up in front, he was standing on the bed right in front of me. Within reach, my mouth opened for him on instinct. As I took him at my lips, the man behind me moved into position. There was a pause, a breath, then a slow build of pressure as he settled behind me with careful precision. I gasped against the man in front of me, my fingers tightening around his thighs. I was held in every direction all at once. My body moved without thought. My thoughts scattered completely. I couldn't hold on to any single sensation. The motion surrounded me rising, falling, shifting like a storm. I couldn't speak, I could barely breathe. All I could do was hold on and let it happen. And when the pressure gave way and I didn't try to hold it, it didn't feel like falling. It felt like surrender. Later I lay on my side, barely breathing, the sheets twisted around me like vines. Tomorrow I would say I do. He promised me it wouldn't be boring, and he was right. Be honest, do you think this marriage has a real chance? Or was it doomed the moment she opened that door? Tell me in the comments, I'll be reading. And before you head out, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next one. Thanks for watching.